This is their narration for the PowerPoint of the reproductive system for HO 152 Human Body Systems 2. I am your instructor, Alice Shapiro, and I will use this first recording to go over general information and to cover the male reproductive system. Here are some general functions of the reproductive system: production of gametes, sperm and eggs, fertilization, development and nourishment of new individuals, and production of sex hormones. These sex cells are called gametes: sperm in the males, eggs or oocytes in the females, and a special type of cell division occurs that leads to the formation of sperm or ova. Each of these needs to be reduced in the chromosome number. Our somatic or body chromosomes contain 23 pairs of chromosomes, or 43 chromosomes, and our sperm or ova contain 23 chromosomes. So each chromosome is not paired. When fertilization occurs, then each chromosome will again be paired. Here is a diagram of meiotic division, which produces sex cells. Note that there are two meiotic divisions. I don't want to belabor this except to say that we started out with a number, in this case, 2 pairs of chromosomes, just for ease of understanding, and we end up with just one member of each pair in the gamete, either the sperm or the ova. So we started out with 2 pairs, or 4 total chromosomes. We end up in each sex cell with 2 total chromosomes, one member from each pair. Fertilization is the union of sperm and oocyte. A zygote is what we call the fertilized ovum, and it develops into an embryo 3 to 14 days after fertilization. An embryo is considered to be 14 to 56 days after fertilization, and a fetus about 56 days after fertilization. The functions of the male reproductive system. Now we will switch to just discussing one of the systems at a time, beginning with the male: to produce sperm, to produce male sex hormones, and to transfer the sperm to the female. Here is a list of the male reproductive organs, beginning with the scrotum. Notice that there are muscles that move the scrotum and the testes close to or away from the body, depending upon the temperature. Sperm must develop at a temperature less than body temperature. If it's cold outside, it's likely that this muscle will contract and bring the testes closer to the body, therefore allowing them some heat. If the temperature is warm outside, body temperature is warm, then this muscle will be relaxed. Testes are the primary male reproductive organ, and here are their functions. Here are their structures, what they contain. In the seminiferous tubules, sperm is produced. The interstitial cells secrete testosterone, and the testes also contain the germ cells, or the immature sperm cells, and also sustentacular cells, which nourish the germ cells and produce the hormones. And the epididymis are thread-like tubules on each side of the testes, where sperm continues to mature and develop. The vas deferens, or ductus deferens, extends from the epididymis, where sperm is stored, and joins the seminal vesicle. And here is what that structure would look like. The ductus deferens, where the sperm would be conducted out of the male's body, and they can be cut and tied, sometimes cauterized, as a method of birth control. That's a vasectomy. The urethra extends from the urinary bladder to the end of the penis in males. It is the passageway for urine and male reproductive fluids, but they don't occur at the same time, because when the penis is erect, it literally pinches off the the ducts from the bladder so that urine will not be excreted at that time. The penis contains spongy tissue, 3 columns of erectile tissue. When they fill with blood on sexual stimulation, then the sperm will become, the penis will become erect, and sperm can be transferred from the male to the female. Here are the various glands: the seminal vesicles, the prostate gland, and the bulbourethral gland. We'll take a look at their locations. Here is a diagram from the medial view of the male reproductive system showing you the urinary bladder. Note, if the penis were erect, this tube will literally be pinched off so that urine from the bladder could not be excreted into the penis. So here are the structures we talked about: the scrotal sac, which houses the testes, the epididymis, which stores sperm, the ductus deferens, which, if you follow its path, you can see that it would allow sperm to be excreted or ejaculated from the male's body. So take a look at the structures. I haven't mentioned all of them, but do take a look at all of them and their specific functions. Here are some of the secretions from the penis. Semen is a mixture of sperm and secretion from glands. The secretions provide transport and nutrients that protect and activate the sperm, and here is the breakdown of where this secretory fluid comes from. A very small percentage of the ejaculatory fluid is actually sperm. All right, here is the function of the seminal vesicles. And read about this. They provide fructose, which is nourishment for the sperm. They contain prostaglandins, which decrease mucus thickness around the cervix and uterine tubes, and therefore help the sperm move through the female reproductive tract. And so these are carried into the female reproductive tract. Contain coagulants that help deliver semen, which contains sperm, into the female. The prostate gland, notice, contains enzymes that will liquefy the semen after it is inside the female, and it also neutralizes the acidity of the vagina, which will increase the longevity of the sperm cells. The bulbourethral gland also neutralizes acidity both of the urethra and the vagina. Here are the secretions of the testicles. They include sperm and a small amount of fluid. In that small amount of fluid are 2 to 5 milliliters of semen, and just 1 milliliter of semen contains 100 million sperm. So you can see the vast number of sperm contained each time a fertile male ejaculates. They can live for up to 72 hours once inside the female. All right, here's the path of the sperm, where it develops, where it matures, then it travels via the ductus deferens, receives the secretions from the seminal vesicles, and then is ejaculated from the urethra. Formation of sperm is called spermatogenesis, or the genesis, the development of sperm, and it begins at puberty. Interstitial cells in the seminiferous tubules increase in number and size and facilitate the spermatogenesis. The seminiferous tubules produce the germ cells, which then mature into spermatids and then mature sperm. Here's the sequence of events. First germ cells, then spermatogonia, primary spermatocytes, secondary spermatocytes, spermatids, and finally mature sperm cells. And here's a diagram of spermatogenesis. You don't need to belabor this, but notice that initially germ cells, which are precursors to the mature ova or sperm, in this case the sperm, are produced by mitotic division, but then when a secondary spermatocyte, or in the female a secondary oocyte, is produced, this is via the process of meiosis, or reducing the total number of chromosomes by 1/2. So from 46 chromosomes to 23 chromosomes, and this shows you the sequence. Finally, mature sperm cells. Notice the long flagella. They are streamlined to contain genetic information in their head, as well as some enzymes and a flagellum. So, of course, if you were a sperm cell, your job would be to swim very fast and hope to be the first one to arrive at the ovum so that your genetic information would be passed on. All right, here's the structure. The head contains a nucleus and DNA. The midpiece contains mitochondria for energy production, and the tail is the flagellum for movement, as I just described. Here's a figure which shows you the development of sperm, the location of the structures we've been talking about. This is a cross-section of a testicle, showing you the epididymis, the ductus deferens, and finally, if you did a cross-section here of a seminiferous tubule, you would see the sperm in various stages of development until mature sperm were produced. Here are the male sex hormones. Please take a look at their source and their functions. Again, you can go back to the non-narrated portion. I don't need to read this to you, but you may want to spend some time with this. And here are the regulation of reproductive hormone secretion in males. Notice that, again, the hypothalamus, via the adenohypophysis, or the anterior pituitary, is responsible for stimulating the production of sperm, of testosterone, and therefore of these secondary sexual characteristics, as well as spermatogenesis. Male puberty is the sequence of events when a boy begins to produce male hormones and sperm cells, and can begin at around age 12 and end around age 18. Testosterone is the major male hormone. Secondary sexual characteristics also develop at this time. Skin texture changes, fat distribution, hair growth. Larynx also enlarges, and this is where the voice deepens. And as this process is going on, a male may experience what we call cracking of the voice, and you've probably all either experienced it if you are male or been around somebody who has. All right, we are going to end this particular screencast here, this particular YouTube, and I will pick up again with the female reproductive system in the next YouTube that I produce. So if you have any questions, again, please contact me. Make sure you spend time reviewing both the narrated and non-narrated portions of these PowerPoints. All right, I'll be back with you later.